So, I have not actually played this game in about 2 weeks now. It has been a little while. There are some things that have happened. Oh yeah, I still don't have a actual hotkey to switch over to. Actually, wait, yes I do. Yeah, I have it. I did add a button to my stream deck. I'm a little bit silly. Is the case anyway. It's been a little while. Some things have happened since the last time I streamed this game. For one, you'll notice that the team's a little bit different. There's still the three that are set in stone of, like, the starter. We have good old Diglett Senpai there with just the inverted colors, and then we have, like, the Mokuana Primate there, who, I looked it up, and apparently how it evolves into the new form is, like, it learns Rage Fist at level 35, and then then it evolves if you have that. If you don't look at Scarlet and Violet long enough, the game might stop looking. Yeah, that's why I didn't play it for 2 weeks. That's definitely the reason there. Oh, goody. So, I don't know exactly what to do here today. But today, December 7th, this is the day that the Mario Kart 8 DLC Wave 3 released. And I knew that today I wanted to do a stream of that stuff and do, like, community games and stuff like that. And I was originally going to do a stream, like, much earlier. But family stuff ended up coming up. Namely, I went over to my Oma's place and helped shovel her walks and set up her little Christmas tree thingamabob and decorate it up and stuff, and she was really grateful for that help. So, you know, that was definitely, you know, time well used, you know, to be able to do good deeds like that and stuff. But anyway, that means that I got to the stream quite a bit later than expected, so it's like, oh, this is going to be a really short notice to just post an announcement being like, we're doing community games right now, who wants to join in? Wait, do the NPCs just walk to the edge of town and then turn around and then walk the other way? The map says it's around here. What could it be? Anyway, so I was like, you know, let's do a short stream of Pokémon Scarlet here, and then we can do some Mario Kart shenanigans, and then it gives some people some time to join. So this probably won't be a long Pokémon Scarlet stream, just to, like, you know, get at the ready for, you know, getting everyone in who wants to play some Mario Kart, basically, is what's going on here. And as we found out from previous times, you don't even need to own the DLC to be able to join into those who have the DLC courses. So anyone who owns Mario Kart but doesn't even have the DLC courses can feel free to join in. That did mean that I needed to connect, like, to the interrupts again. You'll see that I'm on LAN. So I have the latest version of Mario Kart, which I guess is 2.2. I have mentioned before that I do want to see what's going on at the league if the game is unpatched. And I found out you can go into settings and just turn off automatic software updates, so this is still version 1.0.0. It's worth noting. They have put out some patches since then that have apparently improved the performance a little bit, but I still want to see, for science, the situation with, like, the league music. And apparently, in the most recent patch, there were some patch notes saying where it, like, fixed an issue about, like, the league music not playing properly. So maybe it wasn't even a day one patch thing like I initially thought it was. Maybe it's just a thing where it's like, you know, players without the day one patch and even day one patch players would sometimes have the league battle music not play properly, and it's just if you have, like, the most recent patch that it plays properly or something. It's weird, and I want to see for myself what is going on anyway. Yeah, that was pretty good there. For anyone who hasn't seen that, who wants to see, I think that it's pretty fitting. Where is the? I have a display capture 2 on this layout, right? No, it's not that. Wait, unless I just put it under the, I think I just put it underneath the, I had to rearrange things on this layout to get everything to work recently. Alright, so now it's on top of my, thingamabob there. Yeah. I deleted the other trainers. You'll have all the battles you'll ever need with me. Yeah, that seems pretty accurate right there. I don't, I don't mind rivals in Pokemon games being, like, friends and just wanting to be your buddy. Again, it has gone on a little bit long by now. But the Moda is clingy as heck. Also, what are we doing today? Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Is it Y for map? It is Y for map. Okay. It's something like that. We still don't have all the fast travel points. So I guess we'll go, like, get them and stuff like that. But yeah, something's wrong. I don't think motorcycles are supposed to have feet. Whoa. What my motorcycle got feet? It was the Goku of Pokemon and you love it? I apologize that I haven't ever seen a Dragon Ball stuff before. I know that I should have, so I don't. But I'll take your word for it. But yeah, the whole battle Yandere Nemona portrayal, which is clearly neurodivergent and excited to have a friend she could do stuff with, is starting to rub you the wrong way. Yeah, I wasn't too big on it here. Maybe her character will turn around and stuff and be a lot more likable. I don't know. I don't know here. I love her design, though. I will give it that. So many of the human character designs in this game I have really loved. So I will absolutely give Nimona that, and a lot of the trainers in this game. The designs are really good. I'll definitely give it that. What the heck? What? I was like, why did I stop? Yeah, Harmonia. So somewhere in the mines that are around here, we should find the lurking steel titan. Rumor has it that the thing's staggeringly huge and real long. I think a Pokemon like that would be easy to spot. Wonder how it stays hidden. Maybe it's super fast? If that's the case, Ryan, that Pokemon of yours might help you catch up. Yeah, well, okay. I'm just gonna go to the objective over here is what I think I'm going to do. But some things have happened since the last time playing this game. There were a couple reasons that I didn't, you know, stream this game for over 2 weeks. And one of the reasons is, like, some art stuff. Not all the art stuff is done quite yet. But, you know, Vivian is at the ready to evolve at, like, any second now. And there is a custom art at the ready for that I'll be able to show off here momentarily. Things like the title cards and stuff that I have down there weren't that difficult to. I figured just for this stream, the rest of our team is going to be, like, set here pretty soon. Because, like, starter, there'll be, you know, these two that are set. And then there's going to be 2 more slots that are chosen for me. Because that Mad Lad Guzma, you know, dropped $400 after the 24-hour cherry stream, bringing us up to 1,000 total. And, you know, that was the point where we do the Pokemon, like, community vote thingamabob. So, we did a community vote, and, Guzma also was able to, you know, choose a Pokemon himself, which he just passed on to Mortis, being like, Mortis can choose. And Mortis was waiting to choose until after the poll was closed. So I closed the poll for what Pokemon it's actually going to be. And I can show the final results here, because a champion has been chosen in Discord here for who another party member is going to be. So let's see here. Let's show the poll results before we get too carried away here. So I kept it restricted to just like the new Pokemon of Generation 9, so that, you know, we get like something new and stuff. So there was good old Lechonk there that had a few votes. I decided to make a special exception with Malate because it's kind of a recurring meme around here. So, whoops, let's not delete the image. So there was that. There was some love for the for Paldean Quagsire here, or whatever it's called. Whatever the hell this is. I had a dream that I caught a shiny of whatever your name is. I don't quite remember. There was quite a few votes for Minecraft Rock over here for some reason, you hooligans. I think second place, there might have been another one with 8 votes, was you know, Ethel here, which I was already thinking about doing anyway. I might have second thoughts because Primate's evolution is apparently Ghost, and maybe I wouldn't want to double up types, but that's a cool one there. So that was close. I mentioned how I caught one of these off camera, which will probably just be for this session because the team's going to be replaced here pretty soon. There was some love for the Dunsparce and whatever the heck is going on over there. Not a lot of people caring about weird stuff like this, and I can't blame them. And then we have this. I said whoever's fantasy this is. And this was the most with 10, technically 9, because I dropped 1 on each just so everyone would just have like a button to click. So technically 9. And that's what won there. There were some other ones that got some love, like Palafin over here, though we already have a water type. So probably good that it didn't end up that way. We have Sonic's asshole over here that got a little bit of love, as it was called in the Discord there. There was oh yeah, the second place also was like the new Bisharp evolution. Yeah, that's straight up what that looks like there. There's this thing that has 3 forms. There's this weird thing going on with Gimmighoul. And then, yeah, there was that. And I was like, here's the current set in stone team, so can keep that in mind. And then today it was like, this morning, past midnight, it was like, ballots closed, here's the winner. Now we're voting on, like, whether it's gonna be male or female, and people can vote on names. People have dropped a few name suggestions. Nobody has dropped, like, any votes on names yet. Once again, I'm voting for each just so that everyone has, like, a convenient button to click. But, you know, well, there's that. If you're actually, if you're actually able to name a Pokemon Sonic's asshole, is that within 12 characters? Yeah, maybe it'll get through the word censor, as we've seen several things have been able to do. Enjoy the lurk there, Stone Sloth. Hope you're doing well today, and you as well, Desteed. But yeah, wait, what happened to Ethel? I won't be able to evolve Ethel for quite some time, since, you know, I'm gonna need to get online features and patch the game for that. I might need to beat the league first, so we might actually bring Ethel back later. It's gonna depend, like, who's our final party member going to be, and I don't know who it's gonna end up being, because most of my party is gonna be, like, decide for me. I had the choice of starter, and I chose the cute grass cat, because I had the choice between the cute grass cat, like, Spanish ducklet, and the thing, so it seemed like the answer was pretty obvious. And then, you know, there'll be Pokemon chosen for me by, Nishara, Mortis, and Azzy for 3 slots. There'll be a community voted one for, like, 4 that are chosen for me. And then I'll only have 1 slot that's just, like, chosen by me apart from the starter. So it's like, well, I guess I'm not gonna have a whole lot of choice here. So I wonder what the last one should be. So right now, for the 3 slots in the team, I was like, all right, let's keep Yusuke for a little while, and I made like a new text design based off of Yusuke in Persona 5. I decided that a good balance, rather than having that like Spark Palmy, I would add Kilowattrel, because I thought that that was actually pretty cool of a Pokemon, like electric and flying there. And I decided to name her Izana, which is the name of the mage in Triangle Strategy, one of my favorite games this year, who wielded lightning and wind magic. So it's like a flying type and an electric type to have the name of the mage who wields wind and lightning magic. It's like, that's too fitting. I can't not do that. I found out that there are some terrestrialized Pokemon just out in the field that are preset with what they are. And one of them was Rockruff, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch that. I don't mind that Pokemon there. That Pokemon's pretty cool. And I wasn't sure on the name for a little while, but eventually I settled on the name of Keaton as a reference to an upcoming playthrough that we're going to have sometime next year, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest Lunatic Classic there. One of the wolf character from that, well, one of 2 wolf characters from that, technically. I decided to give Rockruff that name, which means the most fitting evolution for Rockruff would be into the Midnight form. But as it turns out, apparently the Pokemon out in the world like that I guess I can go over there and see what the heck that is. The Pokemon that are out in the world that are terrestrialized will have their hidden abilities. And apparently the hidden ability of the Midnight form, or the Dusk form, sorry, the one that's like, you know, the one where it's like you have its hidden ability and level it up between 7 and 8 p.m., something like that. I forget what the name of the ability is. It's like Tough Fang, something like that, so you're a Phalanx there. And it powers up, like, Fang-based moves or physical moves or something like that by 30%. And that's really, really big. Apparently Stone Edge doesn't count for the ability, but lots of other things do, including Excel Rock, and it's like, wow, that's really good. So even though with the name of Keaton, the most fitting evolution would be the Midnight form, apparently this Rockruff here has hidden ability and has the Terror type of Psychic by being caught out in the world there. I decided to use like a Dusk Ball because I was like, oh, that's fitting. And where would I see the Own Temple? Yeah, apparently that's a hidden ability, which in the Sun and Moon days was only given out as part of like a special event. I think in the original Sun and Moon, it's like you could only get the day form and the midnight form of Lycanroc, but later on, I think it was with Ultra Sun and Moon that they released an event Rockruff with the hidden ability that could evolve into the Dusk form. And this is a hidden ability one that can evolve into the Dusk form. It can evolve into the other ones still as well. But, you know, catch any other Rockruff out in the world and it's not going to be able to become a Dusk form. So it's like, huh, even though Midnight form would be most fitting for Keaton, maybe I should evolve it in a Dusk form. If I even keep it for that long, if it doesn't, you know, if Keaton doesn't get the boot out of the party before the next stream. Because, again, this is going to be a short stream and it seems like a lot of my party is going to be decided for me. So I'm going to have to go, apparently Tinkaton, or the pre-evolved form of it, is something that you can also find out in the world with, like, an exclusive Terror type and I guess hidden ability. So I guess I should track down and find out where that is. But, you know, we're also going to have to vote first on, like, what gender it's going to be and what name it's going to end up having. So, you know, over in Discord in the polls channel right now, cast your votes. All right, we made it to the place. Yeah, aren't the textures beautiful? Also, hello, gosh darn it! No! Darn you! I'm feeling the patriotism as we speak. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Oh my goodness, look at the flag FPS over there. Anyway, whoops, I'm getting my buttons all mixed up. But yeah, I learned the other day that Pokemon Sword and Shield had gotten re-releases as complete edition cartridges with the DLC built in. Really? So definitely hold off on buying either Scarlet or Violet until they inevitably get the same re-release. When you saw the Sword and Shield retail expansion packs, you would wrongly presume that DLC was a code in box like many Switch packages these days. Really? So there's like straight up an actual bigger cartridge size release for Sword and Shield that has that all built in that case. So a big thing in gaming news that's broken today, Microsoft has agreed that assuming the purchase of Activision goes through, that Nintendo console will be getting Call of Duty releases for 10 years. Will it be like older Call of Duty releases? Will it be something like the Assassin's Creed games on the Switch, where it's like they're not getting the modern releases, they're just getting like the older stuff that the Switch can handle? Which is some really good games. If anyone wants like a really good open world game to play and isn't getting that fix from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, pick up Assassin's Creed 4 on the Switch. I adore that game. That game is so dang good. But yeah, I have no idea. You just get Call of Duty on Nintendo. I mean, there have been Call of Duty games on Nintendo consoles before. Like, I think there was one on the Nintendo Wii, and you had to, like, point and aim and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not like it hasn't happened before. But, you know. But, you know. I guess we'll, mark that destination there and start going that way. Oh, yeah, it's just right over there. There's one really, really, really big bit of news in regards to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that happened since the last time I streamed this game. And that is Nintendo issued an official apology about this game for the state that it shipped in. And, you know, when I think of Nintendo as a... Oh my goodness. When I think of Nintendo, I don't think about, like, an apologetic company. I think about a company that, like, never talks to its fans, never issues any statements regarding its games, like, ever. And just, you know, just stays completely in the dark on these kinds of things. I don't see Nintendo as a company that, like, apologizes a lot. It's only when, like, the backlash is so insane that they have to. So they issued an apology over this game, and it really surprised me. And it got me thinking, has Nintendo issued an apology over the state of a game before? And... like, how many times has Nintendo actually apologized? So I got curious, and I usually go into my university, like, a little bit early before my classes start, and I do, like, some studying on campus, but I just spent this one day making a notepad on my phone of every time I could find a Nintendo apology since 2008. Unfortunately, there was no, like, simple list online of, like, every single time Nintendo's apologized. Nobody has made a list until I did on this notepad on my phone, I guess, or something like that. But I compiled a notepad on my phone every time that I could find that Nintendo's ever apologized, with the furthest back being 2008. And just seeing, you know, have they ever apologized over the state of a game before? And in what context have they apologized for? So, I just want to share that before... Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I just want to share my notepad of every time Nintendo's apologized. I shared this once during a Persona stream a little while back as well. But it's most important to share during Scarlet and Violet, because that's what it relates to. So starting at 2008, in May 2008, apparently they had to issue an apology because Wii Fit called a 10-year-old fat, or overweight, or whatever the heck it called her, and, like, her and the family took offense. In July 2008, they apologized that E3 didn't announce any new Mario or Zelda titles. This is a wild one. In December 2008, they had to apologize because when they sent out review copies for Animal Crossing Wild World, the review copies already had, like, a save file on them, so the reviewers could go and, like, do a bunch of stuff that you can't do for, like, quite some hours in the game, so they can just go and do those things. And whoever prepared, like, the review save file, it had a racial slur in it, where some villagers would refer to, the player character by the N-bomb. And that's what was sent out to reviewers, and Nintendo had to issue an apology over that. So that was pretty wacky there. You remember that? That was something. In November 2009, apparently Eiji Aonuma officially apologized for Ocarina of Time's Water Temple from 1998. A few months after March 2011, when the 3DS launched, there was a drastic price drop. So people that bought in the first few months were like, what the heck, why do we have to pay so much more? And Nintendo issued an official apology over that. And I think, I was reading on some articles that they were offering you to download like 20 digital games, something like that, which is a lot. For like having bought in the first few months is the apology for, you know, the drastic price drop and everyone else getting a cheaper games and stuff. Or cheaper console. In November 2012, there was an apology that the, Wii U was a bit frustrating to set up and had a very lengthy Day 1 update. In January 2013, there was an apology that there wasn't a lot of games on the Wii U at launch. In January 2014, they issued an apology that the Wii U and 3DS eShop went down for several days over the holiday period, and Pokemon Bank and Transfer had to be delayed around that time. This was a big drama situation. In May 2014, they had to issue an apology over the fact that there weren't same-sex relationships in Tomodachi Life, and people were like, what the heck? why is it only straight? What's going on here? And Nintendo was like, oh, we didn't include, they doubled down. They were initially like, we didn't want to include gay relationships because we didn't want to make any political arguments. Not realizing that by making it impossible in the game, they were making political arguments. So they got even more backlash for that. So, they had to apologize over that. They were like, we can't change it. It changes too much about, like, the game. The game is like it is. We're not gonna put out a patch, but, like, we're sorry about that, and we'll try to be more considerate in the future. And that was a big fiasco there. I only found one article on this, so I don't know if it's true or not. I kind of hope it is. It sounds really wacky. Apparently, in September 2014, there was an issue in Smash 4 on the Wii U where the game would automatically ban Peach players when they pulled a turnip in 4 Glory, because items are banned in 4 Glory. So, so the engine assumed that the players were cheating the moment that they pulled a turnip and would ban them. So there were all these Peach players that were getting banned just for playing their character, and Nintendo had to issue an apology over that. I'm gonna have to, like, look into that some more and find out if that's for sure true, because again, I only found one article on that. April 22nd, 2015. I remember this one. So a little bit before this point, so that's the day that they apologized, but a little bit before this point, it was some Wednesday where they issued some tweet that was like, oh, what do you prefer? Waluigi Wednesday or Wigger Wednesday? They tried to write Wiggler, but they forgot the L and they wrote Wigger Wednesday. So April 22nd, 2015, they had to issue an apology for that typo. Oh man, so wacky there. May 2015, they apologized for amiibo shortages. June 2015, they apologized that their E3 announcements were pretty disappointing, where it didn't announce all that many new titles. Like, the ones that were new had already been known about for quite some time. And the one, like, big new title that was announced was Metroid Prime Federation Force. So you can understand why people would be, like, really salty around that time. March 2017, they apologized over the NES Classic shortages. June 2017, they apologized over the Nintendo Switch shortages. This was a niche one that I didn't realize. Apparently in October 2019, they needed to apologize to their Japanese audience for that weird, like, Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover game that we've discussed in Mario Plus Rabbids before, where, you know, Mario Plus Rabbids was a good example of how to handle a crossover, whereas that, I've argued, you know, wasn't, because it kind of appealed to neither fan base. Like, I, as a Fire Emblem fan, had no motivation to pick up and play that game. And even now, getting into, like, Persona 5, I still don't really have any motivation to pick up, you know, that weird game there. But anyway, that game there. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, hashtag FE Encore. Encore being, like, the Switch version that was released with, like, some additional stuff later. Apparently, it was implied to Japanese fans that the base for this version of the game was going to be the Japanese version, because the website for it showed images from the Japanese original version of the game. But really, it was the Western release of the game that they used as the base, because apparently it had, like, some more content that was added later, and apparently also reduced, like, the amount of risque material. So they apologized over that for, like, giving players the wrong idea there. December 2019, they apologized to the Japanese audience for not meeting production demands for Ring Fit Adventure. Ring Fit Adventure is actually a pretty popular game. It's just you don't see it covered a whole lot on, you know, I'm like one of the few content creator maniacs that actually covers it on their channel, because, you know, very few content creators are going to be out there exercising. That's more, you know, people who aren't into that kind of thing, or about streaming themselves exercising, you know. Also December 2019, apparently they opened a Nintendo store in Tokyo and apologized for long lines where, you would have to stand in line for several hours to get into the store. And on February 5th, 2020, they apologized for delays due to COVID-19, and, you know, that's not their fault, that's the global virus there. Apparently, I might have gotten the year wrong here. I wrote down May 2020. I wonder if that should actually be May 2021, because this was over Mario Strikers, and Mario Strikers only came out earlier this year. So I assume that that's probably actually supposed to be May 2021. I don't know. But apparently there was a promotional email that called it Mario Kart Strikers. Yes, my favorite game, Mario Kart Strikers. So they apologized for the typo there. June 2020 was when they finally apologized for Joy-Con drift. This is another one that I only found on, like, one article. Apparently, June 2020, they also had to apologize because a lot of Nintendo accounts were hacked. I don't remember this coming up, so, you know, it could be that, you know, I'll have to look up seeing if there's other articles that were like that. November 2020, they apologized because the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Thingamabob had a bug that would display the incorrect lyric language while it played, like, this Easter egg song for some languages. And that's not the kind of thing that you can patch. That's the kind of thing that's just, like, set in stone like that, so, well, sucks to suck. June 2021, they had to apologize because in Splatoon 2, there was a kid that stumbled on a user-created message in the game that said F Israel. And, you know, obviously was gonna take, you know, massive offense to that and being like, what the heck is this in this Nintendo game? And they had a lot of issues with Nintendo, and Nintendo was like, whoa, we didn't write that. That's not us. But, you know, we'll try our best to not let messages like that go through. Like, it's hard to tell. Like, you know, I criticize Nintendo for a lot of things, but let's face it, most of the time, their filter for not so great content on their platforms and keeping it like a safe space is some of the best in the entire industry. Like, I'm surprised that something like that was able to slip through. There are some things that Nintendo does right, there are some things Nintendo does wrong, but one of the things that they do, like, phenomenally is filter out stuff like that a lot of the time. Yeah, like Miiverse. Like, you'd think that Miiverse would become, you know, an absolute mess of people making not so kid-friendly kind of content and stuff. But, yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of cringe. But, you know, the filters for, you know, sensitive content were usually pretty good. But apparently that one slipped through the cracks and they had to apologize for that. April 25th, 2022, they apologized that the Mario movie was delayed to 2023. June 8th, 2022, they apologized for the absolute mess of a situation with the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Special Edition pre-orders, which there's probably still a lot of people that want a Special Edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that haven't been able to get it. Like, I lucked out being able to get mine. Like, what a mess. I had to devote, like, full-on days to, you know, when they had that available briefly, and even then, just barely managed to snag one in time. In October 2022, they apologized for not meeting the production demands of Bayonetta Switch Physical Edition in Europe. That's not Bayonetta 3, even though I'm pretty sure Bayonetta 3 released in October this year. Apparently, I know that Bayonetta 2 was on the Switch, but this is apparently in regards to Bayonetta 1 on the Switch. I didn't even realize that Bayonetta 1 was on the Switch as like a standalone thing outside of Bayonetta 2, because I know that they released Bayonetta 2 on the Switch and had like a download code for Bayonetta 1 as well, digitally. But apparently they were like, oh, let's release a physical edition for Bayonetta 1 as well, for those that, you know, want that on their shelves. And apparently they weren't able to meet the production demands in Europe, and they had to apologize for that. And then finally, December 2022, they apologized for the state that Pokémon Scarlet and Violet shipped in. Look at those beautiful textures on the mountainside. Oh, man. And they said, you know, we're gonna try to fix things and stuff. And, you know, I honestly feel like they wouldn't have issued that apology if there wasn't backlash. I feel like they just worry about, you know, they weren't worried about the sales of this game. This game sold insanely well. Over 10 million copies in the first 3 days. The most successful Nintendo launch ever, like, breaking sales records. Well, it looks like this. So I don't think they were worried about the sales of Pokemon at all. I think what they're worried about is the sales of other games under the Nintendo name, like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, for example. Like, they don't want Pokemon to give them a bad rep, and people to look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and be like, ugh, is that gonna be what Tears of the Kingdom is like? And, you know, cancel their Tears of the Kingdom pre-orders. So I feel like they're honestly saying that just to save face on some of their other IPs, since Pokemon obviously doesn't need it. Like, something that I might end up throwing into the video essay, because it's a thought that I was literally just thinking about this last night. Like, what's something comedic that I can slap in for, like, a funny edit for the eventual video essay? I thought of that scene in, like, Avengers Infinity War, where Tony Stark is, you know, suiting up for the first time in that, and is, like, all cool and has all these weapons, and then Bruce Banner is, like, trying to become the Hulk, but he can't do it, and Tony Stark is like, dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards. I could totally do that for, like, Tony Stark as Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, looking all amazing. And there's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just trying over there, while the wizards of either the audience or maybe other companies like Sony and Microsoft are just staring, being like, what the heck? And, you know, Nintendo / Tears of the Kingdom being like, dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards. So I might make that an edit, because it popped into my head last night and it cracked me up. So there's that. So, you know, after spending like 2 hours trying to scour every single Nintendo apology I could find at all, and it was kind of hard to find more because, you know, whenever I searched it on Google, it was just flooded with all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet apology kind of stuff, so it was harder to find older stuff. But from all the ones that I found, like, I could not find a single time that they apologized for the state of a game. Like, they've apologized for things about games before, like that glitch in Smash 4 with the Peach turnip pull, or, you know, lack of same-sex relationships in Tamagotchi life, stuff like that. But they've never apologized because one of their games shipped in such a garbage state. So, this is literally the only time in Nintendo's history that I could find them ever doing that. So the fact that Nintendo officially apologized over the state of Scarlet and Violet, that's a big, big deal. That's, you know, not the kind of thing where it's just like, oh yeah, it's shipped incomplete, they apologize, like, you know, no biggie. Like, these things happen sometimes in the industry. Sometimes the game will get rushed out and, you know, company will try to salvage it from there. This is literally a first from Nintendo, so it's a big deal. I thought that was a health bar appearing for a hot second there, that green bar, like I was about to run into some Dark Souls boss with the health bar across the screen there. So, you know, there's that. I just wanted to share that, because I figured that was something important there. Gosh dang it! But yeah, it would be hilarious with, like, that edit. But I have to decide, like, what Doctor Strange and Wong are going to be. Are they going to be the player base? Are they going to be other companies like Sony and Microsoft? Are they going to be both? Like, which should they, maybe one of them should be other companies and one should be the player base? Maybe, something like that? I don't know. After playing so much Mario plus Rabbids, I thought that was a ladder that I could knock down for a second there. Yeah, gotta do the, backwards long jump kind of stuff. Parents were both wowed by the visuals when they watched you playing the Switch version, The Witcher 3. And I'll be playing Pokémon Scarlet and Violet in front of them many times. So yeah, I can't blame you there. Cannot blame you there at all. The Witcher 3 is one of those games I've thought about picking up for the Switch, but, you know, I haven't, because it's like, do I want to do the whole thing at one point? Maybe one day I'll cover them all. Apparently, they, are also games that might cross the line a little bit in terms of the content that they show for, like, a family, relatively, I should say, family-friendly channel like mine. I won't say my channel's, like, for sure family-friendly, but, like, roughly-ish, you know? I do own all the Witcher games on PC, though, and, apparently they're putting out, like, a next-gen update for Witcher 3 soon, which is pretty cool. It'd be really cool if, Game Freak ever put out a current-gen update for Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. That'd be cool. Which is worse, BDSP or Scarlet and Violet? In what way? Like, overall? In terms of overall, like, quality, glitchiness, and the way things look, I would say Scarlet and Violet. In terms of, like, which is the more boring game? BDSP, so far. Like, you know, I haven't been having a massive ton of fun with Scarlet and Violet, by any means, but there is fun to be had in this game. Like, I can't deny that. There is definitely some fun to be had in it, as opposed to, like, just BDSP recycling things. So, like, gameplay-wise, Scarlet and Violet is the better game. Overall quality-wise, Scarlet and Violet, oh my goodness, there's the world flashing out of existence for a hot second again, is the worst quality. And I've seen, like, a lot more glitches crop up on social media platforms since I haven't streamed this game for the past couple weeks now. One that I saw earlier today is apparently the way that cave systems are handled is like, here's the floor and here's the wall of the cave, and it'll be like there, so the floor goes through to the other side a little bit. That wouldn't be a problem if you couldn't clip your camera through to see, like, floating floor and see void all around. And if it wasn't possible for Pokemon to spawn out there. So I saw a clip on Twitter earlier today where someone was, like, clipping their camera through the wall to see, like, the floor on the other side of the cave wall, and there was a shiny Pokemon, like, right there on the other side of the wall. And it's like, wow, you know, there's that. Here, then there will be a death battle between Kylo Ren and Edelgard? What do you mean there will be a death battle between Kylo Ren and Edelgard? Also, are there, gosh dang it. Are there any, I think that there's some other ones I haven't gotten to yet, right? Like, there's that one there. Is that the last one? Well, but yeah. Yeah, good point. Why are you streaming this? Because I gotta do my full playthrough and my video essay and stuff like that. But I would honestly prefer to be playing this right now, not gonna lie. But we're doing this so that we can do, like, a short stream of it to, you know, be on top of daily uploads relatively, and then, we're gonna switch to Mario Kart in a little bit. So we're gonna stream this for, like, maybe another hour, maybe another hour and a half, something like that, and we're gonna switch to Mario Kart, which, if anyone wants to join into Mario Kart, hop on in. We're gonna showcase the DLC courses, and it's gonna be a fun time. Hello, the sandwich. It's been too long. How's the game? I only went from, like, here to here so far this stream while just like rambling about every time Nintendo's apologies. Yeah, come on in. Anybody's welcome on in. The more the merrier there. So, you know, because it's short notice of a stream, I was like, let's just stream like a short smidge of Scarlet and Violet, and then we'll switch over to Mario Kart. So that's the plan. Let's go get that last fast travel point first. That's my plan here. Alright.